Oh, it's overtime on the Dynasty Roundtable. OT, tie ball game. And we're going to be talking a little 2024 rookies because it's never too early to talk 2024 rookies. Right, Matt Babbage?
Yep, we are sickos. We are planning for next year right now. Seth is admittedly beating me to the punch for sure on his rankings. I come here to find out he's done this extensive film research on all these rookies. I was kind of thinking we were both going to be, no. Seth is prepared. He's prepared 2 seasons in advance. This is the teacher in him. He has no choice in life but to be prepared. And we're going to do a little rookie mock battle here.
And I'm going to give you the first pick, Matt, because I think we all know who it's going to be. Why don't we go super flex? First of all,
super flex.
Super flex. We'll go tight end premium. Just standard. I think that's pretty standard in the leagues that we play in.
Dynasty, it seems like it's kind of becoming the standard. I don't know if data-wise it is the standard, but it seems to be what most of the content is starting to circle around.
Yeah, I think, I'm not going to lie, I think I play in one QB league now. Like, that wasn't always the case, but it just kind of, that's what it turned into. So in our Superflex tight end premium draft, with the first overall pick, Matt Babbage is selecting
Caleb Williams, quarterback out of USC. It's obvious he's going to be the number 1 pick. It's tank for Caleb. And when you look at his profile, it makes a ton of sense why. He's got the frame. He's got the height. Excuse me. Wow. 91st percentile scouting grade. He has a 92nd percentile college QBR. I can go through all these metrics. But when you watch him out there, when you watched him at USC, you were watching an NFL quarterback, and everyone knows it. He's a dude. He has the mentality. We saw in the Pac-12 title game just how much of a dog he was. He was not going to let that team lose. He put that team on his back. And some of the plays this guy made, I mean, you hate to say that they were Mahomesian, but the fact of the matter is, if there was any quarterback that you could compare, it could potentially be Caleb Williams with Patrick Mahomes, because that's just how effortless he was making some of these impossible throws look in these games, in these high pressure, high intensity games. And so Caleb Williams is a sure thing, and he's that dude, and he's the 101.
Not much disagreement for me at all. I think he is the clear number 1 NFL pick. I mean, you said it. You never want to use the term Mahomes-like, because I feel as though it's something that analysts throw around sometimes willy-nilly. I remember hearing that about Zach Wilson. You remember that?
Yeah, that made me want to puke.
Yeah.
I don't even like Mahomes like that. And for me to hear that, I mean, there's just a blatant disrespect. And because those analysts should be ashamed of themselves.
Well, because he just one throw in a pro day, really because you're rolling off your back foot against air. I mean, it's just
a type of throw that has become a joke at pro days, a literal gimmick. These quarterbacks were all messing around, seeing the most ridiculously long throw or high arcing throw. So what Zach Wilson thought was the stamp of his career, and kind of was the stamp of his career.
Yeah, I mean, he was the number 2 overall pick over Justin Fields.
But what people started propping him up for is what every college quarterback now does in their pro day, just for fun, just because they know a media clip of it will circulate and it will get their name talked about. And then, so these quarterbacks and these quarterbacks agents saw what happened with Zach Wilson. They said, hey, make sure you make some circus throws, because social media matters. And the more times that they see you on Twitter and on ESPN for this throw you made at pro day, your draft stock's going to go up.
Yeah.
All right, 102.
102. This is a tough pick. All right. It's very tough for me early on because there's so many players I like, and I'm not really sure what Matt Babbich's plan is with these players. There's a safe route to go, and then there's,
I want bold because clearly you're building up for a decision that doesn't involve Drake.
All right, we'll go bold then. We'll go bold, and I think you're gonna like this because I think it means that you're gonna get a guy that you really like. And since this is a tight end premium, just to shake things up, I'm gonna go Brock Bowers, just because I think he's that. I mean, he's like so good, man. I mean, he's so 6'4", 230. I know, like right now, some people might think he's a little bit undersized playing at that weight, but 4'8", just a freak, man. Like just a freak in a tight end premium league. I'll go Bowers. I'll let you take Drake Maye. I do like Drake Maye. That probably should have been the pick, honestly, if I was in a, if I was being responsible. But in a tight end premium league where the tight end position is often Travis Kelce and everybody else, maybe Mark Andrews, Hawkinson, Kittle, and then everybody else, this is a guy that I think could come in right away and be a big X factor for somebody. I mean, he's a lock first round pick. Somebody's going to take him. And I think likely he'll be a back half mid to, I could really see the Patriots liking him. I don't ever want to say it, like saying there's Rob Gronkowski to his game is kind of like saying a quarterback plays like Patrick Mahomes, but there's some Rob Gronkowski in this guy. He's phenomenal. He is a phenomenal player.
I really don't hate that. And here's why. So that exact argument you lay out is a really good point. If Bowers is going to join that elite tier, then the conversation between him and Drake Maye is actually a pretty decent conversation because Drake Maye has a very enticing profile. He's 6'5", like 220, runs at a 4.55. That's like a 99th percentile speed score.
I like Drake Maye. I do.
This guy is an incredible athlete, and he's got a really good arm. And we talk about Caleb Williams, a guy who made some really difficult plays look effortless, and a guy who has just an incredible mentality, a demeanor. He believes he can make any play on the field. He can make any play on the field. So he's got the intangibles and he has the physical traits as well. But when he gets drafted to the Raiders and they have absolutely nobody, Drake Maye is going to be where Daniel Jones was as a rookie, like no good coaching. And, he's going to be at a better starting point than Daniel Jones was, but that is kind of a comp that's happening. And so I see the potential to get into a really dirty situation for Drake Maye. And we kind of talked about this a few episodes ago on the roundtable, but the quarterbacks that are at the top of the dynasty rankings a lot of them are very young and have many seasons of fantasy relevance left. So even with Caleb Williams, the conversation has to be had of this, like, where are their values going to sit in 2024? And so Drake Maye, you might be drafting at the 102 in a similar situation with Young and Stroud, where he's in a situation where he's not going to succeed early and he's valued at like the quarterback 15 right away. So I get the appeal for not wanting Drake Maye, and that's why I'm drafting Marvin Harrison Jr. at the 102.
Yeah.
We're going bold.
I think you're playing the poker game a little bit, but I respect it. Like, so can I jump in here real quick?
Yeah. Jump in.
All right. So there's no way. I'm just going to say this right now. There's no way his floor value, if Bryce Young and CJ Stroud are getting drafted in like the third round of a Dynasty Superflex startup, not the Dynasty Roundtable startup, but I've seen third round, fourth round. There's no way that Caleb Williams is not mid-second, probably going to get valued, pushed into the first round. I mean,
he'll be 12. Caleb Williams will be no lower than QB 12 at the start of next season.
Yeah, so I think he's going to get pushed into the first round in a startup, and God, I like him, but that's where he's going to be valued. I mean, he's going to be valued very similarly to Trevor Lawrence when Trevor Lawrence came out, just because he's viewed as that next guy, that next elite quarterback in the league. And so,
if for some reason it's Arizona, though, I'll buy it. I'll buy QB10 if it's Arizona.
Sure. Yeah, he's good. He's really good. I would like. So I think his value is going to be sky high. That 101 is going to be so valuable if you get it. So just to prepare Dynasty gamers. But anyway, continue. Sorry to interrupt.
No, you're fine. I am just with this little game we're doing. You know, I'm gonna draft Marvin Harrison Jr. A, because I already have my quarterback, and B, just because we kind of talked about just this value. I think Drake Maye might be just getting into a situation where his value is going to be just a little too rich for me in Dynasty. But that might present the now that I think about it, it might present the case for drafting him and then trading him away during camp hype. So there's a thought of that, but I already made my pick. It's Marvin Harrison Jr. This is guy's the most talented receiver in college football last year. He just wasn't allowed to enter the draft. So now he is entering the draft. After this season, he's going to be the best receiver in college football. Then he's going to be drafted to a tanking team. He's going to get Jamar Chase level draft capital, and he's going to, by his sophomore season, he'll be a top 6 receiver in dynasty value. So just with that trajectory, he has a chance to be just one of the best receivers in the NFL that has come across the NFL in a long time. And all of these Ohio State players and coaches, they have all this talent, and none of them can stop talking about how prolific Marvin Harrison Jr. is. And it's just going to happen. I'll take the cornerstone potential Justin Jefferson-esque start to their career where it's just like near historic numbers, 20 fantasy points per game. And with this quarterback class, even if I go Caleb Williams, I'll come back around and get a Michael Penix Jr. or a Quinn Ewers, Bo Nix, somebody that has some appeal.
Yeah, and I think it's funny because I think I can predict what you're gonna do if I take Drake Maye, but I think I'm gonna take Drake Maye because I think he's gonna be a solid quarterback in the NFL. I do believe. There's a lot of Daniel Jones to his game. I think he's mobile, he's big, he's got good size, he's got a decent arm, and he's got a lot of raw ability, but he also has some work to do. He's not the most athletic. I mean, he's really athletic, but he's not the most athletic guy. Certainly not in the realm of a Caleb Williams. I mean, there's a gap between those two guys. But I mean, 4.55 40. It's interesting how these 40 times they're on paper, but I watch Caleb Williams and I go, man, he's so much more elusive in the pocket than Drake Maye. But it's nothing against Drake Maye. It's just I think Caleb Williams is just so much better, and I do like Drake Maye a lot. And I think like my comp for him is probably Daniel Jones, and I love Daniel Jones. So I think this is a mobile quarterback with a good arm. These are likely going to be the 1-2 picks in the NFL draft. It just kind of depends on if a quarterback needy team is up there or not. I mean, for sure, I think he's a top 5 pick unless he just has a terrible season. So I'll take the chalk here and go Drake Maye, and that'll set you up to take your guy with pick number 5.
Who do you think I'm taking here?
Probably Emeka, would be my guess.
That's what I was thinking, but
okay.
I'm going to go with a guy who models as a 3-down back. Okay. And depending on the situation, projected draft capital will likely be one of the more highly sought after running backs in drafts next season. And that is Raheem Sanders. I know Travion Henderson is a highly sought after prospect. Some are calling him the RB1, but I'm not necessarily as on board. He doesn't really model as a 3-down back. Rocket Sanders does. First of all, his nickname is Rocket. He's a running back.
He's big too. He's a big boy.
Just immediately bumps him up in ADP. That I just don't make the rules. I follow them though. Mm-hmm. And yeah, he's a big boy, 6'2", 225, and he's got 81st percentile speed. He has a 71st percentile college target share at 9%, caught 28 passes last season, and had a 1,400-yard rushing season, 12 touchdowns, 85th percentile yards per carry. He's a talented runner, and he's going to enter the league at around 22 years old, going to a team likely significantly lacking RB talent, and they're going to draft him early. They're probably going to draft him in the first round.
Yeah, no, I like Rocket Sanders a lot. I like a lot. This class I think is really good. And I know we say this every year, but I really do believe that this class is really, really good. Because
I hope they don't dip off, because I mean, right now it just looks like it is loaded with talent, and so it could be really exciting.
I have 4 players anyway, and I'm gonna take one of them now. Emeka Egbuka. Yep. Oh my God, just unbelievable route runner. Reminds me a lot of some of those other Ohio State wide receivers, because when I was watching JSN, I couldn't help but notice this number 2. I was like, who's this number 2? He's unbelievable. He just gets open all the time. Great run after the catch. And so Egbuka, I mean, he's an incredible player. Ohio State does it again with these wide receivers. I mean, he just displays a lot of skills that I think are NFL ready. I mean, he comes back to the ball on routes. He runs really good routes. What I appreciate about wide receivers is their willingness to block. I know I say this all the time. So there was a play against Notre Dame, and I swear to God, we'll wrap this OT up because we could go for another hour probably. But to open up Ohio State's drive, one of their drives, Stroud went under center. He handed the ball off to Travion Henderson. Egbuka goes in motion and throws a key block on the play. Henderson picked up 8 yards. It's one of these things that, you know, we're talking about fantasy football right now, and I'm talking about how good a wide receiver can block. But it's one of those things. It was the block that sprung open the play, and it's something that's not going to be on any stat sheet. But not only is he a great wide receiver, tells me he's a great teammate, tells me he's just has that dog mentality, and he's a player that I just absolutely adore and love in this draft. I mean, I can't say enough good things about Egbuka, so I'm happy to get him here. I'm surprised you didn't take him. So
yeah, it was back and forth, but you know, I think I probably could have just now that I think about it, that was my mistake, because I could have just gotten Rocky coming back to me. Because
you probably
we literally talked about your rankings, and you said that you didn't have Sanders RB1.
Yeah,
and you have Trey Benson. RB1. And so I should have known that Rocket would have came back to me, and I could have taken Egbuka and then came right back with Rocket. And then if you did take Rocket, I just would have taken Trey Benson, and that probably would have worked out really well. Mm-hmm. Instead, I'm just going to pivot, and I'm not sure when this is the final round, but if it's the final round, I'm going to take a receiver with a ton of upside that Seth also talked to me about earlier, but I also really love. And is it Rome or Romy? Rome?
I think it's Rome. Yeah, I heard an interview
super
with
weird
him.
If it wasn't Rome, but
his dad really likes Rome.
Rome
really
Odunze.
liked Roman culture
Odunze.
and Roman history, so that's why his name was Rome. I watched a whole interview where he explained like the origins of his name. So, there's another player I love, by the way.
This dude was a 4-star recruit and went to Washington. He could have went to other places, but he got a lot, some significant opportunity. He actually didn't get some significant opportunity early. Now that I look at it, he broke out in his junior season last year with 1,100 yards on 75 receptions. He has an 84th percentile breakout age, 6'3", really good size, not the best size adjusted speed, but we know that, having the refined route running ability is way more important than just being big and fast. And that's something that Rome has in his tool belt. He's an incredible route runner. He's a large frame, large catch radius, and his concentration and his ball skills are truly incredible. He's always he's making a lot of acrobatic catches, sideline plays. He's got great sense of where he's at on the field. And those little things, like you mentioned, with run blocking, those, like, the little things are going to be what's constantly keeping him on the field and what's going to be, drawing him targets at the next level. So I think he's going to shoot up draft boards. I look across a few different mocks and I see him like in the late second round. Feels like a guy who is going to who's having another big season, probably more of a 1,400-yard season than 1,100-yard season. And then we're going to be considering him as, maybe the wide receiver 3 in this class.
Yeah, that's a great pick. That's one of my favorite wide receivers. I talked about it on the Dynasty Roundtable, so you should definitely go check that out. According to a mock draft I'm looking at right now that has the Colts taking Brock Bowers at pick number 9 overall. Oh my God. Some team, I mean, if any tight end would be where I just would never take a tight end that high if I were an NFL team. That's just not my particular brand of tea there. But with my pick, I am going to go Trey Benson. He's my favorite running back in the class. I mean, he's huge. I mean, he's 6'1", 215, 4.37 speed. Very rare. He's a big physical runner who has good vision and speed and can catch the ball out of the backfield. And his acceleration is just wow on tape. And his contact balance is good too. I think he's just a unique player. He kind of reminds me of Devonta Freeman. You remember Devonta Freeman for Atlanta?
Oh,
and also
of course I remember.
And I didn't want to make this comparison because it's like Florida State, but Dalvin Cook. I mean, those are two of the players he kind of reminds me of. And Benson's speed, I mean, there's a lot of big running backs in this class, like Rocket Sanders. Good speed there too. I'm 4.52 for that size is incredible. No disrespect, but it's like this is truly one of a kind running back in this class with that kind of speed at 4.37. And I think he's got a lot of good traits that go with that too. He checks a lot of boxes. He's got good quick feet for a running back. He's very elusive. And I think he's got a lot of upside. And it's tough because I like a lot of these running backs. I like Travion Henderson, who's more of a bully running back, kind of reminds me of a Marshawn Lynch, just runs really tough. I like Will Shipley a lot. He's one of the undersized running backs, but good pass catching ability. I like Rocket Sanders. I like Braylon Allen. Blake Corum's interesting as well. I like Blake Corum quite a bit. So it's tough, but I'll take Trey Benson here. And I don't know, how long do you want to go? Because we're 23 minutes into this overtime.
I think we got our last round in.
Okay, our last pick. So we got through 8 picks.
So run through your team again.
All right, you would ask me this. So I think I took Brock Bowers with my first pick, Drake Maye. I took Emeka Egbuka, and I took Trey Benson, and that's my team.
Yeah, and then I did Caleb Williams, Marvin Harrison Jr., Rocket Sanders, and then Odunze.
That's a good team. So that's for more 2024 content. Follow us on the Dynasty Roundtable. Tune into that on Wednesday nights, 7 p.m. Central. And you can also follow my YouTube channel. We may have to get Matt Babich on so we can talk these 2024 rookies.
Absolutely.
On my YouTube channel.
Let's do a film study. YouTube film study.
Yeah, we're going to do that. That sounds great. Like a Dynasty Roundtable film study. Maybe get Cody on.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm loving this idea, actually.
All right. Stay tuned. This is a work in progress. I mean, we've had this idea all evening, and we're not going to give up on it now. So goodbye, everybody. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.